Hello friends, welcome to a new lecture on MCQs of esophagus. So the first question is, aim of preventing reflex esophagitis by repairing the hiatus hernia is achieved by. Aim of preventing reflex esophagitis by repairing hiatus hernia is achieved by: number 1, bringing the stomach inferior to the diaphragm. Yes. Reconstruction of angle of Hill. Yes. Repair of defect in the diaphragm. By repairing the defect in the diaphragm or reconstitution of angle of Hill and bringing the stomach inferior to the diaphragm, the reflex esophagitis can be repaired. Next, most common cause. Second question, most common cause of esophagitis is esophageal reflex. If there is any esophageal reflex, it can cause esophagitis because the acid which should be present in stomach, once it enters the esophagus, it can result in reflux of the contents. That is esophageal reflux. All are true about achalasia except. Right, we will see the statements. Third question, all are true about achalasia except statement 1, it predisposes to malignancy. Yes, achalasia cardia on long standing, it can lead to Barrett's esophagus, which can cause adenocarcinoma of esophagus. Body peristalsis is normal. No. In achalasia cardia, body peristalsis is impaired. Actually, there is impaired peristalsis and there is transient delayed relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter resulting in achalasia cardia. Because of delayed relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter, there is increased lower esophageal sphincter pressure seen in achalasia cardia. So third statement is true. Dilatation of proximal segment occurs because of impaired peristalsis, and dilatation of proximal segment also occurs because the food contents are accumulated in the proximal segment. So this is option number 3. So this is 3. B option is true. Then fourth question, all are manometric features of achalasia except. Right, manometric features of achalasia are, so we will see the options. Lower esophageal sphincter pressure, true, it is seen in achalasia. Decreased lower esophageal sphincter relaxation is documented in achalasia. Segmental body peristalsis, false. Here in achalasia there is no evidence of peristalsis at all. There is no evidence of progressive peristalsis in achalasia cardia. And manometry helps in diagnosis. Actually, manometry is the investigation of choice for achalasia cardia. Then question number 5. A female patient has dysphagia, intermittent epigastric pain. On endoscopy, esophagus was dilated above and narrow at the bottom. Treatment is, see, here the patient has dysphagia and intermittent epigastric pain. These both can be anything, but in the endoscopy it is given that the esophagus above is dilated and below is narrow. So this is clear picture of achalasia cardia. Treatment of achalasia cardia is Heller's myotomy. Modified Heller's cardiomyotomy can be done for achalasia cardia. Then question number 7. Heller's operation is done for achalasia cardia. It's simple one-liner. Then question number 8. Features of achalasia cardia are all of the following except. So let us see the options. Regurgitant vomitings, true, it is seen in achalasia cardia. Elongated, dilated esophagus, true. Rat tail deformity and filling defects on barium study. Look, rat tail deformity and filling defects in barium study is seen in carcinoma esophagus, not achalasia cardia. In achalasia cardia, we see bird beak or pencil tip deformity is seen in achalasia cardia. Achalasia cardia, there is increased difficulty of swallowing. It is true. Then, question number 8. Young patient presents with history of dysphagia more to liquids than for solids. First investigation you do is here. The dysphagia is more for liquids than for solids. This is the catchy point for achalasia cardia. Achalasia cardia always dysphagia is more for liquids than for solids, because in solids there is specific gravity of solids is more. So on account of gravity, the gravity exerts the pressure over the lower esophageal sphincter so that the lower esophageal sphincter opens and solids can easily pass through. But liquids, because of lower mass and lower specific gravity, they cannot open or they do not have the strength to open the lower esophageal sphincter. So the diagnosis here is achalasia cardia. For achalasia cardia, the first investigation done is barium swallow, whereas the investigation of choice is endoscopy. The investigation of choice is endoscopy and the first investigation done is barium swallow. Treatment of achalasia associated with high rates of recurrence is high rate of recurrence. Treatment of achalasia associated with high rate of recurrence is botulinum toxin. Here we are not doing any surgical technique. Botulinum toxin on ingestion blocks the acetylcholine release. So if you do botulinum toxin, it provides relief, but there is high rates of recurrence. Then question number 10. All are true about achalasia cardia except achalasia cardia, all are true. So let's see the options. Dysphagia, true, it is seen in achalasia cardia. Aspiration pneumonitis, true in achalasia cardia, especially achalasia cardia in the babies, in infants. Respiratory symptoms are more common or they are pathognomic features. Then McCollil test is hyposensitive. False. Actually, McCollil test is used to demonstrate the hypersensitivity of lower esophageal sphincter for years, and it is used to differentiate achalasia from carcinoma esophagus. It is hypersensitive, not hyposensitive, and this McCollil test is not used nowadays. X-ray finding for dilated esophagus with a narrow end, this is true. Radiological features suggestive of achalasia cardia is absence of gastric air bubble, true. In achalasia cardia, there is absence of gastric air bubble. Air fluid level is seen in mediastinum and sigmoid esophagus is seen. All three are the radiological features of achalasia cardia. Thank you guys for watching my lecture. Thank you.